Hey guys, I just wanted to take a few moments today to just talk about how to survive a wave. One of the things that was most challenging to me when I was really sick was that I would just feel horrible and then I would feel better. And I was like, let's return to life. And I would go play with my kids and I would go do fun things. And all of a sudden, I would start feeling a little bit weird. And before I know it, I'd be back in bed having this wave. So one of the things I wish that I had had was that um, just kind of like a help about how do you get through waves. When you're in a wave, sometimes it's just scary. Sometimes you're having burning. Sometimes your head spinning. A lot of people have experience suicidal ideation where you just feel like this doesn't stop. I'm going to end it because I just can't take this anymore. It's just too painful. So we'll talk about surviving waves in three different stages today. Now, the first stage is when you're either acute or when you have like a really bad setback, and it's really the beginning, and you're just suffering without any end in sight, and you're maybe it's dizziness or fatigue or all of it. For me, it was fatigue and burning and anxiety and twitching and just symptom after symptom. I mean, the list was almost endless. And at that point, you really just need to hold on. And what you really need is just someone to give you hope. So when you're in that place, it's just really hard to convince yourself they can get better just because of the symptoms. So the best coping mechanism when you're in the severe acute, I would say to find someone, maybe find five people that you can trust and that you can count on that can sit with you and just provide hope for you. For me, my wife, my mother, there's a few other people, but most of my wife and my mother, they sat with me and just provided hope and just said, you're gonna be okay. And sometimes they would read stories to me from the online forums or from other people that were going through it. And it gave me just enough hope to kind of keep going. And then another thing you can do in that stage where you're just kind of being tortured is if you can afford it to reach out to a coach. There's a lot of good coaches out there. Chris Page is a guy I worked with, and you can find him online. He went through this himself and had a really severe protracted withdrawal. So he's pretty familiar with it, but he's also a counselor who has who's done a lot of work before this and trauma and really people going through really difficult things. So I would definitely, if you can afford it, I would definitely try to look into getting a coach too. If it's once a week, once every other week, just have someone that has been through it that can kind of give you some hope. So that's the most extreme example when you just can't do anything. You just need someone to constantly tell you that you're going to get better. And you might get better and then kind of move back into this, and that's perfectly normal. The stage keeps coming back up and eventually it will fade away. The second stage is when you have waves, but it's not so intense that you can't not do anything. And what I found was most helpful, at least for myself during this, was distraction. So, distraction and then finding one or two things that actually kind of feel better, feel good. So when I started getting to this level, I did things like projects in my house. I took a lot of hot showers. At one time, I think I was taking like 8 hot showers a day. My wife was like, just, our water bill was off the charts. Um, but it felt good. That I had like this blanket that I would kind of like lay if I was laying down, I just kind of rub it. It was like one of those soft like microfiber blankets. But hot shower. Some people take baths. Some people, for me, I like drinking coffee, but caffeine doesn't really help. So I'd have decaf coffee. I learned that if I make it at home, usually the caffeine content is a little less and didn't bother me as much. But yeah, at that point, find things that you can distract yourself with and find yourself like some things that can just feel good in your body. So that's the second thing. That's kind of in that middle stage. Then we start progressing a little more, kind of the stage where you get to where you can just start doing things. Your life is not as um, disrupted as it once was. Uh, and at that point, you're still going to get waves, or you might still get waves. Hopefully you don't, but at least I have. And at that point, you really need to kind of be able to like recall your experience and know that you've been through this, you've been through much worse so many times, and you'll get through this too. When your body feels really tired, you need to rest. When your body feels a little better, you can kind of do that distracting thing. You can kind of, again, like take showers or baths, whatever feels good. But hopefully by the time that you get to that level of healing, you can kind of convince yourself that's going to pass. And that really helps because the anxiety is it's just such a catch-22 because you have the symptoms and the anxiety comes, and anxiety exacerbates your symptoms. And so at that stage, hopefully you can kind of start managing your anxiety a little better and doing some things. And like now, I mean, I'll have some waves, but I can still spend the day doing more normal things, so it doesn't impact me as much. And that definitely like limits the fear level because I think so much of the fear for us is that we just never can get better. Like we're just not gonna get better. That's our fear. Like this is our life, you know. One thing I did was, I'm 38. I tried to, I'm like, how am I going to get through 40 years of this, 50 years of this? And I think that's kind of a natural thought when you've been suffering for a long time. But as you get to that kind of later stage, you can kind of talk your way out of that and have a little more, be a little more grounded. I'm curious to hear what other people have done to get through waves. I know some people don't have waves. Some people just feel horrible all the time. Some people then get better. Some people have waves and windows like I have. And if you've been through this and you've had, or if you're going through this now, what are some things that you do to get through waves? I think that's one of the questions that can help people. This channel is all about helping people get through this and heal and get to the other side and get their life back. So please put that in there. There's probably a lot of things I didn't cover that might help some people that I don't really know about. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until then, keep healing and I'll talk to you soon.